Getting back to more of that evil shit. You already know what it is. Evil Dead Rise. Because it's about that time to just do it. So we start with this dude, Caleb, picking with this girl at the beach. Well, actually at this lake in his cabin or whatever like that. He's got this drone. And this girl's checking on his girlfriend, Jessica, to see how she's doing. She's just laying on the bed. As this random chick picks up a book, Jessica starts reading the words out of the book without even paying attention to her. Like, what the fuck? She just come out of nowhere and peels her cat backs backwards. Peels the top of her head clean off. Somehow the girl's getting to Caleb. He's like, what the fuck happened to your head? How are you still moving? And Jessica comes out of nowhere and shit. She just dives into the daggone water. Caleb thinks he's drowning. He's trying to save her, but nah, fam. He got dug down in the water. All you see is Jessica floating above that shit, and that's when the movie title comes up. Then we get to a day earlier. Now we're in like New York City or something like that. It's weird to see an Evil Dead movie take place in like the city. So now we got this chick named Beth who finds out she's pregnant. Then we got this chick named Ellie who's got like 3 siblings, 3 kids. The middle oldest is Bridget, the oldest is Danny, and the youngest one is Cassie. Now they live in this apartment complex. Danny's like a DJ, Bridget's on some emo shit, and Cassie's just like a little kid with twisted worldviews. Anyhow, they get a knock on the door. It turns out it's Beth. We find out Beth and Ellie are actually sisters. Beth's got this dude at the door that wanted to see her, you know what I'm saying, watch some movies or whatever like that. She was like, nah, take a rain check. And then Cassie's teasing her about a little boyfriend or whatever. But then Beth starts talking about this dude named Jay. We're like, so Ellie sends the kids out to get some pizza. But as it turns out, Jay's the baby dad and he dipped out on him. Beth's like, why you ain't call me? And she's like, turns out I called you twice and left messages. The thing was, that was like 2.5 months ago. The thing about Beth, she's supposed to be some like music tech or something like that. She's always busy going around like hosting shows and all this other stuff. She texts her messages and hears them and she's like, damn. But she also ends up telling Ellie that she messed up and got knocked up. She only put it in so many words, but I think she understood the message. So anyway, while the kids are down in the basement all bringing back the pizza, all of a sudden an earthquake hits. Everybody was okay from the earthquake, but all of a sudden, Danny sees like a hole in the ground. No surprise there, right? It's a fucking earthquake that just happened. But he looks down there and goes exploring and shit. Turns out it ends up being some like underground bank. He's got all these papers and things inside of binders, but then he starts going deeper. Then he sees all these like crosses hanging up and shit. Then it crowds around this big ass tombstone. He finds like all these records or whatever like that, but then he ends up finding this book. If you've seen Evil Dead movies, if you've seen like the series, you know exactly what book I'm talking about. The Necronomicon and shit. Yeah, the book made out of human flesh and shit. They end up getting back to the apartment on the elevator. I mean, and of course Ellie's like, well, what the fuck? What the hell did I tell y'all taking an elevator went through a freaking hurricane? I mean, earthquake. I mean, make sure you're good. But anyway, they all get back to the apartment. Now, the book is wrapped in some type of cloth or whatever like that. Now, Bridget is being the obvious one, like, hey, man, you shouldn't be fucking with this book. Like, this shit look crazy. Don't read it. I'm like, a smart character in a horror film. But you know he's going to read that shit. You know he is. Bugs and all that type of shit just pop out before he even tries to open the book. That should be a tall tale sign right there. He tries to open his claws attached to the front part of the book, then he actually scratches himself and then blood drips off his fingers onto the book. We all know what happens if you know the series. He flipping through the book, sees all the type of crazy drawings and pictures and shit like that, and Bridget's like, once again, close his fucking book. He can't help himself. Then he starts listening to the records, right? There's got like these priests in the background talking or whatever like that. Then we realize this is actually the 3rd book. I was like, wait, what? So there's officially 3 of these motherfucking books that exist on goddamn planet Earth. What? You gotta understand, I've seen all the Evil Dead movies. I've seen the revised Evil Dead movie. I've seen the series. So it's like, this is mind-blowing to me. Anyway, he starts reading through it, starts reciting shit. Next thing you know, Ellie's about to use the elevator to wash clothes. I thought to myself, you just told your kids about not using the elevator during a fucking earthquake, and you're gonna use it only 15 minutes later to wash clothes? Next thing you know, that classic demon is floating through the air somewhere, whatever like that, and ends up inhabiting Ellie. And she got treated the worst on that fucking elevator. Bones got all contorted and shit. The fucking cables is wrapped around her and shit. Yeah, she got fucked on that elevator. Next thing you know, everybody chilling in the room. Ellie's back, but she comes walking in all ominously. She goes into the kitchen, starts throwing fucking eggs in the skillet, shells and all and shit. That should have been a dead giveaway right there. She starts talking crazy talk all of a sudden. She starts speaking in tongues. She starts crawling around the ground and shit. She's not even trying to kill him yet, yo. She's just fucking around with him. They end up fighting her off and then kicking her out the house, but at some point she ended up scratching Bridget. No, wait, they didn't kick her out the house just yet. I forgot. She was all throwing up and shit, and then we all thought she was pretty much dead. Now, the thing is, they can't take her nowhere. You know why? They got a couple of the tenants to help out, you know what I'm saying, pray over her and shit like that. The thing was, she had no choice but to take the elevator because now the elevator's messed up, and after the earthquake, the stairs are fucked up. The stairs from the 5th floor to the 3rd are just torn the fuck out. It's done. You can't even jump down that bitch. So yeah, I understand why she took the elevator now. But still, you could have waited the next day for them fucking clothes. So anyway, this bitch gives some extra shit. You get right back up, whoever like that. They had to start the whiffling again. Then they knock her out. Then they throw her in the damn bathtub. This is after the message comes on the answer machine, or phone again, or whatever like that. And then all of a sudden it's saying, "I'm burning. It's hot. Help me." And the phone just breaks and falls on the ground and shit. And that's why they put her in this cold-ass tub. They try to put water on her and all this other shit. But bottom line is, she jumps out of that bitch like a goddamn spider or tarantula and shit, whatever like that. The water starts boiling. This is when they realize we're dealing with some almighty fuck. And in between all the beef, they finally kicked her out the damn house. Now she's just in the hallway just fucking niggas up. So while Beth and Danny are trying to figure out some shit, Bridget ends up going to the kitchen, and you can see like the cut, whatever like that, start to spread. I was like, oh no. At the same time, Cassie keeps hearing the mom's voice and starting to get convinced that she might be better now. Go try to convince Ellie to open the damn door. We don't need that shit. Cassie almost opens the door. Niggas go out of there. And you see Cassie getting choked up by her mom and shit. And they're like, hey, yo, get the fuck out of here. They bash her hand, close the door. They make sure Cassie's okay. Meanwhile, they looking for Bridget. They see her in the kitchen. All of a sudden, they see her chewing on some damn glass. We're like, oh no. She's possessed too? How two niggas get possessed at the same time? So then she tries to go at the Danny and Cassie or whatever like that. All of a sudden, Cassie sticks joy right in her fucking face, and then she tries to pull it out, but then she falls on the ground. So Danny said, fuck that shit. He had to wrap her or some shit and just tie her up and throw her in the goddamn bed. Cassie's got to be traumatized. So it gets to a point where Danny's like, yo, it's got to be something with this book, or we got to find some clues with these damn records or something. And Beth is like, fuck it, I'll go in there and try to figure out some shit. So she got the headphones, she listening, trying to find some answers. All of a sudden, Cassie ends up falling and ducking down under a table. We're like, what the fuck wrong with her? Well, Bridget pops up out of her chest and starts chasing after Danny. She gets him in the kitchen, starts fucking Danny up, just starts stabbing him with knives and shit like that. She starts throwing her blood on him, and nigga, the fuck. And she had turned the stove over, right? So she about to finish off Danny. Danny sprays this shit, and then flames on her ass, and then she gets burnt down crispy. But in the process, Danny died too. Beth was still listening to the shit. All of a sudden, she looks in the mirror and then sees Ellie. We're like, how the fuck did Ellie just get over there? She been trying to struggle to get back in the door the whole time. Ellie's cooking Beth at this time. She's like, yeah, I'm about to take your soul. Matter of fact, 2 souls. So she was talking about the baby Beth had. But honestly, as many times as Beth fell over, I was thinking to myself, is the baby still in his stomach? Like, the fuck? Anyway, she ended up stabbing Ellie in the face with some scissors, but provided by Cassie, whatever like that. So that slowed her down a bit. So Beth tells Cassie, look, man, we getting the fuck out of here because they're the only 2 left. So apparently they're going to find some way to get down the fire escape because, like I said, the elevator ain't working and the steps are broken down. Because at some point, all the power went out just to their fucking building. Not even their building, just their apartment. It's like, what the fuck? But then you look outside, it actually is the building. So we're like, all right. But then when they open their door and get on their floor, whatever like that, one of the dudes has still got the shotgun. So he picks up the shotgun because he's already dead. And she's trying to break through the fire escape, whatever like that. But then all of a sudden, Ellie's coming back and she takes out her leg, start to whiffle it. She about to shoot again, and then all of a sudden, the hairy dude gets up grabbing her, whatever like that, and then we realize, oh, they're about to get possessed. So she kicks the fuck out of him and was like, yo, fuck this shit. We gotta find some way to get this damn escalator. We ain't got time for that. And somehow, the elevator starts working. But that's when I realized this is about to be some shit. So I guess somehow the elevator is being controlled by demons. All this blood is rushing in there, whatever like that. All these fucking hands are coming down off the top. We're like, what the fuck is going on? Meanwhile, you see Ellie emerging with all the dead bodies around her or whatever like that. They about to become some superhuman fuck shit. The escalator ended up dropping them down to the basement. I don't know how they survived that shit. Beth, Cassie, and the baby survived that shit. That's crazy. It's a crazy-ass movie, so let's roll with it. So now they about to get in the car. They try to press the button to get out. The gate won't open up, and then all of a sudden it's about to open up. But then we hear Ellie coming down the steps. She's dead. This is a bunch of mixed body parts now, you know what I'm saying? So they're circling around the car and shit. Then they realize the gate's about to close, so they try to rush in through the gate. Both of them about to slide under the gate, but then Ellie grabs Cassie. We're like, what the fuck? No! So now Beth's got to bust back through the fist to try to save Cassie. And right before Cassie about to get her head cut off with a chainsaw, all of a sudden Beth come with the shotgun, start bamming on niggas. Cassie runs and hides. And then she hit him with the, come get some. But then she got caught up, and she about to get dragged through this fucking incinerator. I was like, oh shit. But at the last second, Cassie stops the machine, she kicks the niggas off. And then she ends up getting a chainsaw. And right then and there, I was expecting groovy, but she didn't say it. Oh, bloody and shit. Cassie turns the machine back on. And then Beth runs Ellie into the machine with the chainsaw and gets her whiffled. All she had was a head left, and Beth kicked that shit in there too. They both walked through the gate and got the fuck up out of there. You think it's the end? Guess what? It's not. So remember Jessica at the beginning of the movie? Guess what? She actually lives in the same fucking building. This is when she's going downstairs. She's about to get in the car, and then she's inviting her friend with Caleb, and they're supposed to be going to the beach, Blake or whatever. And then she's about to leave. That's when she looked back at the incinerator, and I was like, yo, somebody's eyes was fucking glowing. I was like, this is some bullshit. Then she got the car, started looking around the area, see all this blood, she started screaming and shit. And then the spirits were still alive, and that's when it possessed Jessica. And that's why she was murking niggas at the beginning of the movie. But yeah, that's Evil Dead Rise for you. I really didn't know there were 3 Necronomicon books. I was like, what the fuck? So where was the second was supposed to be at? I know one was in the cabin. When they did the remake, they went back to the cabin. Was the second one in the Army of Darkness? You know, they transported Ash Williams to a whole nother world. He had to fight niggas. I forgot. It's been so long. Evil Dead Rise on Netflix. Check it out before they take it off of there. Yeet.